Good afternoon, Dee. Thank you for coming on Let's Talk Sports and Entertainment with C. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well. How you doing? Well, it's actually morning here in Texas. Still on this Central Standard Time, but doing
Well,
good, doing good.
good morning to you. I hope you got some coffee in and you're doing good this morning.
Can't do the coffee, can't do the Red Bull, can't do the caffeine, but hey,
Ooh,
we juiced up. We talking sports,
oh,
so I'm up. Let's go.
let's go, right? Well, tell us who you are and where you're from.
Okay. I'm Desiree Gibbs. That's the real name. Everybody calls me Coach Dee, so I just shorten it up with D for D Gibbs. I'm originally from Tallahassee, Florida, Oak Cliff, some everywhere. And I am a head coach and athletic trainer for Pickup USA Fitness here in Houston,
Ooh.
Texas, and in Willowbrook. So,
Okay, so before we get into all of that, where's this love for this basketball come from?
oh man, I think the earliest memories that I just have, period, are being probably 4 years old and watching Cynthia Cooper and Michael Jordan with my grandparents. My grandparents are huge basketball fans. And I can remember at an early age, my grandfather bought me one of those little Tykes playground basketball
Mm-hmm.
sets that you could let up and down. And we would sit and watch the game. And as soon as the game was off, I would just be captivated. I would go and grab my little ball and I would go and start imitating Michael Jordan and Cynthia Cooper and Ruthie Bolton and all these other people. And my grandparents, they thought it was hilarious. They would just laugh. And my uncle, he kind of realized, like, nah, for her to look at this stuff and actually be able to do it at like 4, that's pretty good. So
Mm-hmm.
he kind of, began to take notice of, okay, this ain't just her being funny and her being silly. I think she might actually be into it. So my uncle realized the knack, saw it, and from then just kind of started training with me, working with me, and I gravitated to it. Like I just love every inch of it. Like all the hard work, the grittiness, the grindiness that go into it. Like the shooting 300 shots a day, the ball handling, the dribbling. Like that was never a thing for me. Like I was a total gym rat, a total gym junkie. Like, and my love just grew from there. It just grew over the years. So that's how it all started.
Grandparents are the best, and if they can get you
Oh
to love
man.
basketball, that's even better. So did you ever play?
Yeah. I had the opportunity to play. Like I was blessed enough to play. Basically, I played basketball all throughout my life. So,
Okay.
like I said, earliest memories. My grandparents and uncle got me into YMCA. From there, I got into AAU just from coaches being around, kind of seeing like, hey, this kid pretty good. You want to play? So I got into AAU. From there, I was blessed to go middle school. Then from middle school, I began playing varsity basketball in like 7th grade,
Okay.
just from an advanced level. So from high school, played collegiately at Auburn for a little bit before transferring and going JUCO. And then after that, I had the opportunity to play pro a little bit before just ACL injuries and everything just kind of killed the career. So yeah, I've been blessed. I've been blessed to play this sport I love at a high level for quite a while.
Oh, so what would you say is the biggest difference from AAU when you were playing until now, when all the hype and
Oh
the
man.
cameras and just I don't think you really need talent. I just think you have like a nice clip and then boom.
Boom. The biggest thing now would be from an exposure standpoint. I think when we played simply for the love of the game. We
Mhm.
weren't worried about, oh, it's gonna get me crazy exposure, it's gonna take me here, it's gonna guarantee I get to UConn. No, we were simply playing it because we were kids who love playing basketball. And you telling me, oh, after I leave high school, I can go to this gym, or after I leave middle school, I can go to this gym and play again all day. And then during the weekends, go play all these crazy tournaments. So for us, it was just about, honing the fundamentals, growing the bond, learning more about the game, having fun. Now these kids, they have the expectation of mama, daddy, I gotta play AAU. If I
Mhm.
want to be in front of X, Y, and Z, and I want to be on YouTube, and I want to get a show like Mikey Williams and all these other kids, I got to be in AAU. And not only do I need to be in AAU, I need to be in AAU with someone that's connected.
Mhm.
So now this a whole AAU basketball, it's a business. It's no longer fundamentals. It's no longer clubs and these kids growing and learning. It is a complete business, and it starts from day one And you could tell by the way these people take it serious. So it's just the way it has evolved and changed, which I think is good for the sport. More exposure is always good for the sport. But at the same time, I worry that it hinders the kids in their progress because so many coaches now, they're not teaching fundamentals. You go watch these AAU tournaments like me as a coach all the time, you could automatically know from looking at the team, okay, this is the kid right here who's going to go. The coach wants him to shoot all the shots, want him to get the ball. It's a whole bunch of acrobatic displays and things going on. But when it comes to fundamentals like ball movement, IQ, moving without the basketball, you're not seeing none of that. And so I think that's been the biggest change in AAU since, I started playing up until now.
And when you say fundamentals and learning fundamentals, how important is that to the longevity of your career in basketball?
Oh man, fundamentals is extremely, extremely important. I tell people you can have all the athleticism in the world, but if you don't have a true understanding of what the game is, your ceiling is limited. I one of my greatest basketball memories this year is gonna come from watching completely unathletic Nikola Jokic just dominate the NBA Finals, the playoffs. I tell my players and other coaches all the time, he's a prime example. Jokic is a prime example of what fundamentals can do. He's not flashy. He doesn't do a lot. He's not the acrobatic dunk. It's just straight fundamentals. It's a simple, I'm going to turn this way. I'm going to turn back this way with perfect footwork. I'm going to fake you, and I'm going to get my shot off. It's a simple, okay, guess what? You're at this angle? So cool. I'm going to just angle here and shoot this way. And like, why can't they stop it? Because fundamentals never get old. A player with great fundamentals, career can go across seas, it can go NBA, WNBA, wherever. The fundamentals never get old. You can't rely on athleticism because at any time your athleticism can be. But if
Not
you
everyone's
have,
LeBron, MJ.
I'm telling you, not everyone's LeBron, MJ, or got the crazy athleticism of a female like Asia Wilson and Rebecca Brunson or Maya Moore. Like
right.
Maya Moore's athleticism was insane.
The way she viewed the court was absolutely amazing.
It was just amazing watching Maya Moore and Simone Augustus and some of these athletic females play. It was literally poetry in motion. But what people didn't understand was their fundamentals were right there along with that athleticism. So Simone was able to play for a while. Maya could play to God knows however long she wanted to play. It's the same thing with Candace Parker. Candace Parker could play to however long she wants to play, even though her athleticism and that step is slowly waning because she's getting older. Her fundamentals are still there. So yeah, fundamentals is the key to longevity in your career. Like, man, that and taking care of your body. So,
and when you say take care of your body, what does that consist of?
Oh man, it's little things. Like I understand, younger kids, it's hard to turn away to McDonald's. I understand it's hard to turn away Raising Cane's. Oh man, I'm an adult.
Caffeine.
I'm telling you, I understand I'm an adult. I struggle with it myself, but those little things that coaches instilled in us early on growing up, like, hey, instead of grabbing a soda, grab a water, grab a natural juice, things like beet juice that helps, rehydrate, staying up on your electrolytes, making sure that's good. Staying away so much from, like you just said, the caffeine, the Red Bulls, the things like that, those energy shots, making sure you're hydrated consistently. Salt to eliminate cramps, making sure you have salt in your diet, make sure you have protein in your diet, that type of things. I think players don't understand how the things you do when you're younger affects your body as you get older. I think I heard Chris Paul say in an interview a while back, if he could go back and tell his younger self anything, he would tell his younger self, yo, as soon as you come into the league, get a nutritionist. Get a nutritionist, someone who's going to show you how to play your meals, how to meal prep, how to eat right. So it's extremely important. The longevity that it can give your career, just from simple things like hydrating correctly and eating correctly. I mean, look at LeBron. People think it's crazy. LeBron puts like $1 million into his body. Hey, he going into year 21 every year. He's going to year 21 next season, and it doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. So I'm like, that right there is living proof of longevity you can have if you take care of your body. If you take care of your body, it will take care of you. That's for sure.
I wanted to ask you a question because you spoke about, playing collegiate. You went from Auburn and then you went the JUCO route.
Mhm.
And a lot of kids these days are Division One, Division One, Division One.
Yes.
And can you just
Yes.
speak to that? It doesn't matter the path, it's the
Oh
work that
man,
you put in to
most
get to
definitely.
your goals that you're trying to achieve.
Most definitely. Um, woo, you struck a nail there. I remember being in high school, and I could speak to. I began getting recruited early on. I think my first letter came when I was in like ninth grade.
Ooh.
Um, and so me, I'm stoked. I'm like, man, this is all I dreamed about.
Mm-hmm.
At the point in time I'm in high school, Tennessee and UConn were powerhouses. Like nobody else would be here. Like if you were nobody if you didn't go to Tennessee. And the way my brain was set up, if I wasn't the next Shannon Bobby, I was gonna be in distraught because I just had all types of dreams in my head of wearing that orange and blue for Tennessee and playing under Pat Summitt. I like,
You
man,
want to be a lady vote?
man, I wanted to be a lady ball. Like, man, I'm telling you, the dreams, the childhood dreams were crazy, but it fueled the work. And I remember a coach coming in talking to me, a JUCO coach. I would never freaking forget it. It was Coach Rosalind Jennings. She like ended up being one of my biggest mentors. She came to me. She said, "You're talented. You're extremely talented." She's like, "But I'm going to tell you what happened." She's like, "You're going to go to this school, and they're going to run you ragged." Then she's like, they're gonna run you underneath the ground. She was like, either that or you're just gonna be totally overwhelmed. She was like, if not from practice and workouts, you're gonna be overwhelmed from college life. She was like, and
Wow.
you're gonna lose your desire and your love for the game. And she said, I seen it happen all the time. She was like, don't fall into the flashiness of Division One. She was like, I'm gonna tell you what someone told me. If you're good, they'll find you. And she kept recruiting me, she kept recruiting me, she kept coming, she kept coming, not only to me, but a couple of my other teammates that were being recruited out as well. And at the time, I'm thinking, oh, I'm not going there. Like, freaking Oregon just wrote me.
Like, I ain't
I'm
never
not
heard of
going
that.
there.
I'm
Like
straight.
I've
That
never
ain't.
heard. Yeah, I'm like, I ain't never heard this. I don't even know Alabama. I don't even know where that is. So I'm like, so
That ain't the
I'm like,
powerhouse.
exactly. I'm like, that's not Tennessee. That's not UConn. That ain't even Texas A&M. I'm not going there. So I'm just like, I'm gung ho on not going, just stuck on not going. So I went, did it, and man, like everything she said, it was almost like a prophecy. It's like clockwork. And I remember going into my junior year feeling so exhausted, so overwhelmed. I tell these young kids all the time, like I told my fiance, I never got the chance to really experience college because I was
Mm.
so stuck on just basketball, basketball, basketball. If it wasn't an appearance, if it wasn't, practice, it was individuals. If it wasn't individuals, I was still doing extra work on top of that because I had goals I wanted to achieve and goals I wanted to reach. If it wasn't that, it was film sessions. You never had the time to do all the extra whatever that these other kids get caught up into because it was basketball all the time, basketball all the
Mm.
time. And I remember being in a point where I had never really been in my entire life. And that was my love for the game of basketball began to disappear. It began to decline. And I was like, whoa, I don't know what's happening here. I'm like, normally I can motivate myself. Nobody has to motivate me. It was getting to the point of where it was hard to get out of bed, hard to do. And
Oh
so
no.
I went home to my grandparents. Just wanted
I
to
would
get
say.
away for a while. Yeah, so I went back to my roots to be like, why did I fall in love with this game to begin with? It just so happens one of my high school teammates, she was smart. She had listened and she went the JUCO route. So she found out I was in town and she calls my phone. She said, what you doing? And then I said, chilling, like
Mm-hmm.
watching TV. And she like, come put some work in. I'm like, put some work in. I'm on vacation. That's what I'm saying. So she's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, no. She's like, come up to the gym. Come put some work in. I'm like, what gym? And she like, Coach Deen's gym up here in Southern. I'm like, I don't even know where that's at. So she's laughing
She's
and
back.
she's like,
Back to I don't know what that is.
yeah, I'm like, I don't know where that is. And so my grandfather, he's not a man of many words, but he observes, he watches a lot. So my grandfather overhears my conversation. He said, I know where it is. Come on, grab your shoes. Let's go. Grab your bag.
Grandpa knew where it's at. Uh-oh. Where's it? Words of a
So,
wise man.
so he said, "Come on, let's go." So, get in the truck. We go up there, and they're running the game. And unbeknownst to me, she had some other recruits here. I didn't know they were recruits at the time. I'm just thinking, hey, it's an open gym. People are running. So I come in, and she said, "Hey, I know that face." So I said, "Coach, how you doing?" Introduce myself again. And she's like, "You gonna run?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" So she said, "Okay, let's go." So, I'm thinking she's gonna be over on the sideline, just kind of watching and observing. She gets in, she runs the game with us. So I'm like, okay, she's older. So at this point, I'm also impressed. But then she starts kicking our butt. So at this point in time, and I'm just like, okay, wait a minute, something's off here. So she starts laughing. She's talking smack the whole night. And I'm like, yo, no, put me with my high school teammate. Because hey, they don't understand what we're trying to do here. They fundamentals are not. Put me with my high school teammate. We know what's going on. So she teams us up together. We running and gunning because that's how we played in high school. Fast paced, running, gunning, getting up and down the court. So we doing that. We get to going. Next thing I know, talking smack back to the other girls. They talking, scoring like, "Oh yeah, what's up? What a D? Can't stop me. Let's go." So at this point in time, the juices are flowing. I'm back in my element. So by the time we finish, we everybody's high fiving, all love after all the smack talking and all that is done. Everybody like, "Yo, good run." Like, yeah, like where y'all from again? Like, y'all should come up here more often. I'm like, man, I'm going back to all, all this talking. So she comes into the office and she asked me a genuine question. She's like, "How's it going?" And I said, "You want the truth?" She's like, "I want the truth." That's how I asked. And so it just broke down. I said, I'm lost. Like, I'm lost. I've lost my love for the game. I don't know what's going on. And she said, "I understand. I understand." So she said, "If you ever need," she was like, "guidance." She said, "If you ever need a reset, a refresh," she was like, "or a redirect," she was like, "I'm telling you, come here." She was like, "You don't have to go back. You come here." She was like, "I can make the call." She said, "You can make the call. It doesn't matter." She was like, "But right now," she's like, "you're at a pivotal point in your career." She was like, "It's not just about basketball, it's about your life." And so she was like, "If you're not happy," she said, "I really think you should reconsider some things." I said, "Okay, all right." Sad. She continued to talk to me about some more things. And after that, I got up as I'm leaving, my high school teammate, Nakaya, she comes up to me and she says, "I know," she said, "it's not what you thought." She was like, "But when I tell you," she's like, "I have learned so much from being underneath the woman." She was like, and she was like, "Man," she said, "I'm better than I ever thought I could be." She was like,
Wow.
more than anything, she was like, "I love the game more than I thought I could. Love it."
Wow.
So she was like, "For real." And she was like, "We ain't got no point guard. They can't run with me like you can." She's like, "Come up here." So like I'm laughing. I said, "You know what? I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna really think about it." I'm gonna went home, talk to my grandparents, talk to my mom, and they just said, "Just pray about it. Pray and ask God for guidance." I prayed, and literally up until the day that I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go back up here, talk to coach and see if things can change." Literally that morning, I woke up. I just something just felt different, like something had shifted, and I knew at that moment it was my sign that okay, yeah,
It's time to go.
it's time to go. I shouldn't go back. Um, and sure enough, like practicing, working out, and next thing I know, I'm like, "Hey, I'm JUCO." So I went the JUCO route, and it it changed my life. It changed my life. It changed my perspective. Um, I would tell to a younger kid or anyone who's listening to this, don't listen to a coach just coming to you saying, "Hey, you're not gonna go pro going JUCO." Man, you can go wherever it is you want to go going JUCO. Some of the greatest athletes that I competed against, played against at every level came from JUCOs. And then they went to the Division One route. Or then they went, I'm like, "Nah, man, don't listen to that." I'm like, if you go JUCO, hey, if you're good, they're gonna find you. So yeah, take the time and make the choice for opportunity that's presents itself. Make the best one that's available to you, because at the end of the day, it's about your longevity and your career as a player. And I don't care what people say. You don't play for schools. You play for a coach. So whatever coach, I don't care if it's JUCO, D2, D3. If you connect with that coach and you believe in that coach, that's where you go.
And
Like that's
speaking of coaching, because so many times I hear kids in general speak about or lose the love of the game because of their coach. And how important is to have a coach invested you not only on the court but off the court as well?
Oh, it's extremely important because one of the biggest things that comes with playing that people don't talk about is not just skill, it's confidence.
Mm.
And that confidence comes from the work you put in. And I see so many young kids that come in contact with it, they put in the work, but they don't have the confidence. The confidence is not matching it. And get to know them more, and it just comes down to coaching. So when we're working and when we're training in a high level and my intensity's up and I'm coming off screens with them and I'm trying to block shots and I'm working with them, they just like, dang, I wish I had this all the time with my high school coach or with it's extremely important. Like I tell people, my career lasted as long as it did, and it went as far as it did because of my coaches. At the time, young, when my mom moved us from Florida to Alabama, I was so upset. I was just distraught. I was so mad.
As
And
kids, we hate moving our
like,
friends.
yeah,
Why you up and leaving me just because you want to leave? I'm comfortable.
Just because you want to accept this job that's paying you over $100,000, you could have left me here with somebody else, so I didn't have to leave my friends. I don't want to make no friends. Yeah, I don't like people. I don't want to make new friends. So I did not want to. I was so upset. Looking back on it, that was the best decision my mom could have made. I got introduced to, and I tell people all the time, they're like, "Oh, where'd you get your coaching experience?" Da, da, da. I joke with them all the time. I said, "Man, I went to the Ron Jackson Developmental Basketball Academy." And they laugh and they're just like, "Oh," and it's crazy because it's not even a real thing. It's a real thing if you play for him, but if you didn't play for him, it's not a real thing. So people just not like, "Ron Jackson, who's that?" So I start laughing and I'm like, "No." But in all seriousness, shout out to Coach Ronald Jackson. He is the most winningest basketball coach for the state of Alabama for girls basketball. So I went there 7th and 8th grade and I met him. And the first thing that just shocked me is this man is huge. He's 6'8", 6'9". He was the largest human being I had ever seen in my life. So this man is huge. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. I'm like intimidated and scared because I'm a kid and I'm like, wow. So this man is walking up and coming up like, "Hey, I'm the coach, basketball coach. I'm seeing you playing. Come to tryouts. Come to da da da." No, he's talking to us. But this man, literally from 7th grade up until the time I graduated high school, this man instilled every ounce of everything about the game of basketball and life in general, from the way we worked. Like I told people, we didn't have the summers off. Yeah, we didn't have none of that. As soon as school was out, oh, you had a week to to have fun, spend time with your family. After that, it was back to work. Like I tell people to this day, I remember our schedules. Monday, Tuesday, weightlifting. Wednesday, Thursday, jump souls, track running. Friday, Saturday, open gym running. Sunday, tournaments. Like that's what we did 24/7. Like it was basketball. Literally, he began the development of his players from middle school up until high school. So by the time they got to 9th grade, they already knew his system. They already knew everything. So the development for him came because as a kid at that time, all I knew was basketball as a hobby. Like I loved it. It came naturally, so I was able to play like the dribbling and handling the ball and shooting the ball. That type of stuff came naturally. But when it came to okay, first rule of defense, always see the man in the ball. Help one, you did not support. Help two, you here. Help three, you here. Don't allow the man to cut behind. I started learning the actual real fundamentals, understanding IQ, understanding angles, understanding shooting off screens, coming off screens, understanding processing a defense and how it changes in the middle of games, shift. I began learning all of that underneath him. So by my 10th grade year, it was just like the light went off and I just began to see everything. I knew I had got to the point of where when I was in a game, I didn't have to look over at him and be like, "Yo, did they just shift into did my 10th grade year when they would shift and I could just go into the play because I know, okay, they switch from a zone to a boxing one, or from a boxing one, now they in a 1-2-1-1. When
Okay.
I could recognize that automatically, I knew, okay,
With
yeah,
your
this
own
stuff is
eyes.
starting to sink in with my own eyes. That's when I knew, okay, like, yeah, we're here. So, but yeah, just along with that, the fundamentals and the confidence. Like I tell people, I'm short, like I'm like midget size, I'm like 5'2". So I was already at a disadvantage playing basketball because these girls are big, these girls are tall. I was already at a disadvantage. So with him, he told me that you little, you're quick, you can handle the ball, but hey, guess what? On that jump shot, so it doesn't get blocked, you're gonna have to elevate. You're gonna have to really elevate. He's like, you're gonna have to understand angles. He said, you're gonna have to understand getting into lane, getting here, you're gonna have to know how to use your body. So he was specifically catered drills to me and the other point guards, and even the two guards, my best friends that were for us that wasn't crazy big. He was specifically catered drills to us, and from that, when practice is over, I was the kid staying in the gym shooting extra shots, shooting extra free throws. If I struggled with something all that week, I was the kid running the extra drills. He never left. He always stayed.
Wow.
He always stayed, and he would always just sit and watch. He would always say, okay, yeah, that was good, but you need to do this, you need to do that. So, by the time I got in the game, if I'm struggling or if I missed 3 shots, it was nothing for him to pull me to the side and be like, hey, wake up. You got this. So it was like that type of thing. But if it wasn't for Coach Jackson, man, I never would have just been able to approach the game the way I approached it. Like I tell all my players now, I don't care if you go over to Australia, if you go to Germany, wherever you is, the game of basketball is the same no matter where you go. You take that orange ball, and the objective is to get it in the hoop. If you can hoop and beat people here in Texas, you can beat people in Australia. Because of the confidence that Coach Jackson instilled in me early on, I felt like, yo, I don't care where I go. It's a basketball and a hoop. I'm gonna beat you. Come over here.
Period.
So yeah, period. So it was like it was nothing to think about. So yeah, coaches and the confidence that they instill in their players, it's so vital. It's so important. It can't just be the parents. It can't just be aunts and uncles. It's a different feeling when you have a coach that believes in you. It's a different feeling. So yeah, extremely important.
For him to even notice that in you,
Oh
like
man.
to even pull you to the side, it just feels good. Like, I mean, I never played the sport. It's just too much contact for me. But even like it's just anywhere, your job, when they notice something changed, just to pull you aside, you okay? It just feels good to notice like when something's off about you or you need to change something. But when you hear the word basketball coach, what are 3 words that come to your mind?
Oh man. 3 words that come to my mind. I think for one I would have to say patience.
Okay.
Understanding, and wisdom.
Ooh, patience,
Those are
understanding, and
probably
wisdom.
3 ones. Patience. You have to have patience because as a coach, you learn early on every kid is not the same. What makes every kid move? What makes every kid tick? What motivates them? It's all different. Nothing is the same. The talent level may be similar, but nothing is the same. So patience to be able to understand. Okay, I'm working with Sabrina here. Sabrina on go. I ain't gotta tell Sabrina now when she show up to the gym, she's ready to work. And then okay, I got Jada here. Jada come in. Sometimes her energy's a little depleted. Sometimes she's down. So I know, hey, my energy got to be high. Then I got to get her up to here. Once I got her up to here, she gonna do the rest. So it's just taking it from there. It's patience to knowing each kid is different. I say understanding because your understanding for the game has to be at a unique level in order to be a coach. People often wonder why some of the greatest players make the worst coaches. It's a reason.
That is so true.
Like it's a reason for that. People wonder why Michael Jordan. It's a reason why Michael Jordan wasn't going to be a coach. Michael Jordan would be a horrible coach. Nobody would ever want to play for Michael Jordan. Nobody would ever want to play with him or play for him.
No.
I tell people it's it's a reason for that. And the reason why is when you're so great at something and it comes naturally to you, you don't have that level of understanding to understand a kid who, I'm not as good as you. I don't have this natural talent, but this is all I love. This is all I know. This is all I want to do. So as a coach, you have to be able to understand, okay, so and so has it. Her natural talent is here. I don't have to do anything. Like literally with some of my AAU players, it's so crazy. Because my first AAU team, I had a player by the name of, we called her Duck, but her real name was Alexis Hightower. So phenomenal athlete. Went on to play at Alcorn State overseas for a little bit. And I would notice we would be in practice, and I'm like, hey, when Duck drops, you gotta sag. You gotta be here. Alexis, you gotta be here. You gotta cut it off, because the minute she gets past Jasmine's shoulder, it's nothing you can do. Her athleticism gonna take over. So I'm telling her, hey, you sag, you're here, you're help too. I'm telling you, don't even go over there. Forget that little girl in the corner. We ain't worried about her. This is who we worried about, So I'm telling her, hey, make sure you're here. So after sitting there watching, and I filmed all the practices. In practice, I'm just like, I'm jumping up and down. I'm like, no, baby, it's easy. Sag, do this. So when I went back and I watched the film, I began laughing. I'm like, this poor baby has gotten fussed at in practice all day when she literally was doing what I wanted her to do. Duck was just so athletically gifted. She was just beating her to the spot every time. And so I went back the next day and I had to apologize to Alexis, because I'm like, baby, I am sorry. Coach looked at the film, and I'm just being honest, it's nothing you can do. But that's okay. I understand that, because it was nothing I could do with certain players. It didn't matter if I was in the correct spot. If I was here, she was still going to get the shot off.
And it's just, sometimes there's nothing you can do.
It's nothing you can do. Like I tell people, as a coach, you have to understand the level of frustration. Say, for instance, when the other day when the Liberty were playing the Sun, it's so funny watching Sandy Rondello's reactions when Alyssa Thomas and Dewana Bonner were getting these buckets. As a coach, I'm watching her and I feel her agony, because I'm just like, it's nothing they can do. Like, it's nothing you can do.
But the crazy thing about it is, in pregame, as a coach, you know what I'm saying? She's like, yeah, I coached Dewana and we moved her to the 4. When you move her to the 4, there's nothing you can do. So if you know that, you literally know that. And Alyssa Thomas, like, there's nothing you can do.
It's not. Yeah,
there's nothing you can do. So
her IQ is off the charts. Yeah,
you already know that going into the game. There's nothing you can do. But moving Dewana to the 4, Sandy, you did that yourself.
You did that yourself.
You knew that you couldn't do anything. So during the game, why are you acting surprised? You said it yourself. I was like,
it's just, man, watching the game.
About that game that pissed me because I was sitting right there.
Watching the game, just as a coach, your level of understanding, you just have to understand that, hey, sometimes I'm going to have the perfect game plan and we still going to get our butts kicked, because this kid just can't be messed with. She just can't be touched. So as a coach, you have to have that level of understanding to know, okay, so it's not my game plan. It's not my scouting report. It's not my players. They give it 110%. But sometimes you just come across a kid that's that dude or that girl. So it's just, sometimes it's tough. And then I say wisdom, because you have to understand with these young kids, their problems aren't our problems. They don't have bills, they don't have the stresses, but they do have stresses that they go through. School is different than it was with us. You don't understand the level of frustration that they go through just from classes, and then coming to practice, and then dealing with whatever they're dealing with at home. And every home life is different. Every kid doesn't have the loving parent. Some kids got the blue collar parent that got to work 2-3 jobs just to make sure, hey, you can still play AAU, or to make sure, hey, you get these basketball shoes that you want because you love this game so much. And then some kids, quite frankly, just got a parent that's deaf. That's just, hey, I'm present because this is my kid, but I don't care. So you have to have wisdom to know how to deal, with each situation, and just to know how to approach each kid and how to reach them, most important. People understand coaching guys and coaching females is entirely different. With the
Mm.
guys, hey, a guy will just go. A lot of times, a guy will just go. The athleticism is crazy, is off the charts. You don't have to worry about it. But in order for a female to play hard for you and to reach heights that you want them to reach, they have to be able to trust you. If a female can't trust you, if she can't trust, she doesn't have trust in your ability, the game plan. If she feels, hey, you ain't got no confidence and no trust in me, I'm not gonna be out here killing myself for you. No, but once a female trusts you and gets to the level of what they understand you and they know you have their best interest at heart, oh, it's nothing. It's nothing the girls want to do for you. So yeah,
That's a fact.
that's why I say patience, understanding, and wisdom. Probably
That's
the,
fair.
the three that comes to mind.
That's what's up. You hear that, guys? These coaches out here, you better pay attention because some coaches I've seen in action, I won't say the word, but you need some help. Okay. Speaking of trust, let's see if I can trust your judgment with this one.
Okay.
Top 3 basketball movies.
Ooh, top 3 basketball movies. Oh
Yep.
man, this is tough. This is tough. This is tough. I'm gonna be honest. It's probably not everybody's cup of tea. But my top one is Love and Basketball.
Okay,
Um,
that's up there.
I would say Love and Basketball, and it's not even because of the love story. It's the journey. You got to see how it
Mm.
transitioned. The love early on, college, and how it both took off for both of them. You got to see when Quincy's career got derailed because of everything that was going on with his father, and then the bad choice that he made of entering the NBA because
Too
of
early.
emotion too early.
Mm.
Then you got to see, hey, in the beginning in college, Monica got recruited by one team. She gets there, the expectation is already low. She feels like nobody wants her there because the other girl didn't come. So Monica's struggling and dealing. And then you see how the injury to Sidra propels Monica's career, which she didn't even realize it at the time, into the next upper echelon status. She becomes the it girl at USC versus when she got there, Quincy was the guy. It's an afterthought. You saw how Quincy's ego came into the mix because once her career took off, it became kind of harder for him. And because of everything he was dealing with emotionally, it derailed him. And then you get to see Monica go off and play overseas before the NBA. The WNBA. Before the league was here, she going off overseas. You got to see her life, what it was like being away from her family, her dealing with it, and you got to see that love for the game decline. And then at the end, you got to see, boom, it was never really about anything else. It was about basketball, but my love for basketball was also tied to this person who loved basketball. So I think just the way they brought it all together
Okay,
was just
the way
it
you
was like
did that and the whole breakdown, you found a new love for loving basketball.
Yeah, like so that's why I said that's my top one. But if I'm just saying, if I take away the whole romantic aspect of it, my top 3 that I just love, period. One, I would have to say Coach Carter. I loved every inch
With your
of
5
Coach Carter.
rounds.
Just like I loved every inch of Coach Carter, and it's probably because he reminded me so much of my high school and college coach, Coach Jennings and Coach Jackson. But I love every inch of Coach Carter. Like I would suit up and play for that man. Like I loved every inch of
Right,
it.
what they say before Steph, there was what's his name? Cruz.
Timo Cruz. As a coach, I understand Coach Carter. I would have blew a gasket if we got a wide open fast break and you pull up and shoot, and you pull up and shoot a 3 when it's a wide open layup. I would have blew a head gasket. So I understand. I understand what he's saying exactly.
How
Okay, I
many
said Coach
sisters he
Carter's
got?
man. That's what I'm saying. But it was a method to the madness. Hey, it was a method to the madness. Okay, I said Coach Carter's 1. 2 is crazy. I'm gonna say 2 is he got game.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say 2 got game, and it was right there for 1, but I said 2 is he got game, and 3 I gotta say Around the Rim.
Oh, you got some good ones there.
So
Got some
I
good
gotta
ones.
say
Okay.
What's your top 3? What's your top 3?
I'm gonna have to go with Sunset Park. It's my favorite.
Ooh, Sunset Park was a good one. I
That's
can't
my
even
movie.
lie.
Sunset Park is my movie. Coach Carter and He Got Game. So,
Okay.
he's right
Okay.
there, but Sunset Park is it's
That's
my
so good.
movie. In college, I used to watch that movie every single day. I have the DVD. I have it purchased on Amazon Prime, and I still don't like. Everyone's like, "Can I use your DVD?" No,
Man,
no.
oh,
They're like, "But you have
man.
it on Prime." Okay, but I'm never gonna get my DVD back, and I want no one even uses DVDs. I said, "But you want to use it." So
Oh,
no,
oh man.
no, you're not getting my DVDs back. And then the whole Sunset Park, what time is it?
Yeah,
It's time to get live. And the
wow, it's
fact
kind
that
of
like
references.
they took the time to teach her the game, like
Yeah,
the way
exactly.
that's what I really like about it. They taught her the game and how she really invested in her players and
Mm.
she didn't leave and she was like, we're coming back for this title
And
next
we're gonna
year.
kick
So
yeah, it's gonna kick their butt. Like I would have played for her too. But the thing I love about Sunset Park the most was she ended up discovering that she was great at something she never even
new.
considered or thought about. She never knew what being a basketball coach was, what it consisted of, what it but you begin to see just her growth. I'm trying to think, what game was it when they were losing and she inserted, what was his name? Terrence. What was Terrence?
Spaceman.
Spaceman. Yeah,
And he was like,
when she
no, that
inserted
is the
Spaceman,
worst
they
thing to
like,
do.
no, don't do it.
And he was on the line
and
at
the
the
smile
end.
is on his face. And Spaceman comes out there, Dennis Rodman, everybody grabbing rebounds and elbowing it. Hey, it set them off. But as a coach, sometimes that's something you have to understand, like the psychology of the game. Okay, I got I don't want to say my teammate's name, but in high school, I had a teammate. It's all love. I love you, Manitra. Manitra was big, a big head. Manitra was tall as hell. In my biggest dreams, I wanted Manitra's height. I just wanted God to bless me with her height and her, because I'm like, if I had Manitra's height with my ability, oh, y'all can tell me nothing. It's a wrap. And
no, that's right. Like
yeah,
it's a wrap.
like
It's
it's a
over.
wrap. It's over with. But Manitra was so timid. It just wasn't in her to be extra aggressive and to snag the rebound and to fight through the contact and finish the layup. It wasn't in her. And so for the
Sometimes
life
can
of
I just
me,
run away scared?
yeah, exactly. So at times I know it drove my coach crazy. And my entire high school career up until like 10th grade. And trust me, when I say this man knew basketball, this man knew basketball. His daughter actually, Deanna Jackson, former Chicago Sky, that was his daughter. That Ron Jackson was her dad. You know, so this man knew basketball. So for the life of me, I couldn't understand why is he still playing Manitra? Manitra getting killed. She stayed getting killed. Why is he playing her? But at the time, not realizing as a coach, hey, you can't teach 6 feet. You can't coach 6 feet. So he had to play her. She's 6 feet. We don't have anyone else aside. He had to play her. Going into my junior year, I said, look, coach, I love you to death, but we winning this year. Like, we came close last year, we came close ninth grade year. We winning this year, and next year we're winning. He's like, okay, so what you want me to do? I said, okay, look, this is it. My knee train starting. You gonna have to start Keidra. Like, point blank period. And my teammate Keidra was shorter. She was about 5'8". She wasn't big, but she was uber aggressive. She was aggressive. She lived for the contact. She didn't care 2-3 people bumping me. Guess what? I'm finna take the contact and I'm finna end one on all of y'all. Like, she was aggressive. And we won my junior and senior year because of that. She was undersized, but the aggression was crazy. So, like I tell people, I said, I understand, somebody being undersized. Like, okay, yeah, like I tell people all the time, Victoria Saxton is undersized, but guess what? She's aggressive.
Yeah,
The size has nothing to do with it. She's gonna grab the rebound. So I'm like, it's not always about confidence. A lot of times it's just about being aggressive in the body. But her being able to identify in Sunset Park that, okay, boom, I got to get somebody in here that's gonna battle with this guy, that's gonna beef with this guy, and it took the game to a whole. Just Spaceman being inserted, it changed the entire outlook on the game. So as a coach, you have to realize that,
the energy,
yeah, it changed everything, the energy,
everything.
and yeah, like that, and that's important. Sometimes you on a team, you're gonna have a player who not gonna give you scoring, they're not gonna give you but they're gonna give you energy. And if you think an energy player is not important, then obviously you're not a coach. I'm telling you, because energy is everything. It is everything.
That's like when Carrington comes in for the Sun, she just changes
She just changes. It's like the minute she steps on the court, everybody energy goes from here
to
here
every time,
and it's just like it's everything. So like people are like, oh, she's only on the team because she's pretty. No, that girl can hoop. She can hoop.
I don't know what game you.
I'm watching. Like, I don't know what game you're watching, but she can hoop. It's just like Cheyenne Parker. People are like, I don't see what's the hype about Cheyenne. Cheyenne's a beast.
What season she's having this year?
Man, Cheyenne's a beast. Cheyenne out there with nails on, lashes, and a full face of makeup and dropping 30. Like, Cheyenne's a beast, man.
That's like even with Jordan Canada this year, just to see her fall in love with the game again. It's been something special to watch. Just to see, and you can literally see it.
Yeah.
See it. Like sometimes you can see when people are not happy, but you can literally see her falling in love with basketball all over again. And to be a witness to that, which I'll be able to see on Sunday.
I'm so jealous. Over jealous.
But just to see that is something as a fan is just like, wow. Like, and it's you don't really, I've never truly knew that can happen. And more and more you constantly see that, and the more I have this podcast and I can talk to athletes and coaches and more players and just basketball heads like us, it just it's a real thing.
It's crazy. Like Jordan's story is just amazing to me. I love Jordan in college. I loved her as a player. Jordan is a true point guard. I can tell just the way she sees the game, the way she sees the floor, and I love watching players like that because in today's game, you're starting to lose a lot of the traditional point guards, especially with the NBA. This whole positionless basketball thing, it's taking away traditional point guards, and being able to see someone like Jordan that can just see the floor, that can penetrate, that's scrappy on defense, that I love every bit of it. It's literally like Jordan was tailor-made to play for the Sparks. Even
just
the coach,
with their organization,
just the organization,
from
the history, from Tamika Johnson to Vic to all the point guards they had before. It's like she was tailor made to play for LA.
Kurt's a perfect fit for.
He's the perfect fit for her. Like, I couldn't have picked anyone better. When they announced that, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't do nothing but clap. I was upset a little bit. I'm like, damn. Might make it harder for the Aces, because the Aces is not, and the Wings are my teams. So I'm like, might make it harder for him, but you know what? It's all good. But
it's all good.
Jordan was tailor-made for LA. I'm so happy for Jordan. So happy for her.
I don't know, but this playoff run is getting a little spicy in the W. So who you think's gonna be? I mean, we know, but who's gonna be competing for the championship?
Honestly, at this point, I think it is hard to say we are not headed for an Aces and Liberty showdown.
A lot of people are changing their mind now.
My dark horse coming in, and anyone that knows me that knows I talk sports all the time. My dark horse coming in was Connecticut. I thought Connecticut would be back, and I said, okay, if Seattle keeps Stewie, I said, I know they're losing Bird, but if they add another piece, okay, maybe they still have a chance. The minute Stewie went to NY, I said, I don't know if I'll put NY in this year because of chemistry. It takes time to develop chemistry.
I don't know what happened to JJ after All-Star, but
I'm telling you, she been wilding. Like, before All-Star, I thought they had put somebody else in JJ's body. I couldn't understand what was going on with JJ.
Me neither.
She just wasn't herself. But after All-Star, it's like that light went off. And now, boom, it's just a wrap. I mean, as an opposing team, what can you do? When Sabrina is dropping 19 or 20,
I'm not a fan of
Stewie is dropping 25 or 30. And then you got JJ, who's going to give 20 and 11. What can you do? It's like, it's not much you can do. But if I had to pick right now, I say it's hard. It's hard.
If I had to pick right this second, it would be too hard. It's too hard.
It would be hard. Yeah, I think it's too hard. Like I said, I want to say Aces and Liberty, but then I'm like, dang, the Wings are talented enough to creep in there as well. I'm waiting on the wings to just wake up. And I wish I had the resources to sit down with the coach because I'm so invested in the wings. I write entire scouting reports on the team they about to play. I am that invested into the Dallas Wings. The reason why I'm so invested in the wings is my favorite player growing up WNBA was Deanna Tweedy Nolan for the Detroit Shock. Deanna Tweedy Nolan is the reason why I fell in love just with the grittiness, the griminess, the physicality of the game, just everything. I love Deanna Tweedy Nolan. So when the Shock disbanded and they turned it into the Tulsa Shock, and then from the Tulsa Shock, went to the wing, I was like, wait a minute, what? So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna follow. And so I followed and stayed. And so, like I said, I became invested in the wings. I'm just waiting on the wings to wake up and realize who they are. I know they have to know that they're talented enough. And they're buying into the culture. But it's like they have moments in the game where they just have a lapse and they forget, oh, we're this talented.
I don't know what's going on with Natasha Howard over these past few games.
These past few games. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like Tasha's kind of checked out. And we don't know players' personal lives, so it's hard for us to say, oh, okay, this is going on, that's going on. But she's most definitely a different player. She's not locked in like she was in the beginning, and that's why I said I don't see them this year, but I think the next couple of years they could make some noise. But
like I said, Satu and Enrique.
And the thing is that I love about Enrique that I can't deny is Enrique is the same player when her shot is falling and when it's not falling.
Yes, she is.
And she's gonna shoot the ball with confidence every single time. I get as a coach, sometimes it drives you crazy, but I can't ask for anything more.
But that's what you want.
That's what you want. It's so hard to coach a player and motivate a player who, when they shot is falling, oh yeah, high energy up here, we good. And the minute the game is not going good, you don't want to play defense, you don't want to rebound, you don't want to do anything.
That's what happens with Connecticut. That's what happens because they let their defense dictate their offense. And that's what makes me so mad. It's like, it doesn't matter. Play your game every possession.
Every possession.
And I don't just, and the only reason I always refer to him and everyone goes, oh, why? Because you're not even from Connecticut. I said, honestly, I'm an NBA fan. I fell in love with the game from NBA. My brother, he was my first basketball player I loved, but my first WNBA game was at Connecticut. That's
Connecticut.
Whatever team you see first, that's usually
that's the team that becomes your team. Yeah,
and that's the team that I seen, and that's the team I cover. That's my squad, and I literally get to witness what Alyssa Thomas does. So that's different to see that. That's absolutely for a basketball fan, that is just absolutely amazing. So, but what you said about Enrique, to get that player who does it every possession, no matter if she's hot or not, she can score 8 and still get everything she gives you every single game, every possession. That's what I love about Enrique.
And I think that comes from Notre Dame, from McGraw, because Enrique, along with Skylar, it's just like you can say the same about the UConn players. They come into the league and they just have an understanding. Enrique and Skylar, those players from Notre Dame, they have the understanding of, it doesn't matter. This is still a game. I still got to hoop. I still got to play. And Enrique and Skylar, they both understand. And it's so, I tell players all the time as a coach, I understand your shot may not be falling, but you're in the game because of the simple fact that they know you're still a threat. If you are not attacking and not playing and don't have that mindset of it, they're going to forget you over there. I'm like, and I have you out here because I know you still have the capability to do that. Enrique understands, I don't care if I miss 10. Guess what? The next 5 go in, I'm 5 for the last 10. So I'm at 50%. So
because once that one goes in,
that one goes in, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And that's what I love about it. She stayed locked in. She stays in that mindset. But like I said, again, I think that comes from coaching. The minute Connecticut understands that shift and that balance, I think Connecticut will win. Because I'm still blown away they didn't win last year. Like I tell people, Vegas was by far the more superior talented team. But I thought Connecticut
last year.
I really did.
It was Hamby and Auntie, what's her name? And I always forget it. And I don't want to bring up her issues that she got going on right now. Auntie, she had the back surgery.
It was him. It's not Kia because Kia's still with them. I know who you're talking about.
She comes off the bench. I always forget.
I cannot think of her name right now.
But anyway, she's going through some issues with the legal system. We don't want to bring that up. But her, if it wasn't for Hamby and her in the finals last year, I don't know what would have happened.
Her name is on the tip of my tongue. When she hit those threes, those pivotal threes in that big moment, oh my God. It was her coming out party.
Right. I didn't say, can't say Asia Wilson, menace. Chelsea Gray, menace. Point guard. Kelsey Plum dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried. We can't take away what they do, and I will never do that because their game is fire.
It's crazy. His game is fire.
Alyssa had triple doubles in the finals. Back-to-back ones. And if Hamby and still can't remember
what is her name? It's
we're
you know what?
All these players and we're just drawing blanks right now.
And it's irritating me because I know her name and I cannot think of it. Right.
Raquana
Williams.
Raquana Williams, right?
Raquana Williams. That's what it was. Okay.
But yeah, but if they didn't come and do what they did, because Hamby had some great blocks towards the end, and she came and hit those pivotal threes, back-to-back ones. And it's like you never know who comes in the game and just is ready. You never know.
Changed it's in those games and when Hamby got those blocks and she hit those shots. Those
three, energy just shifted.
Yes, it was pivotal moments because the Suns was winning those battles. I think the physicality of Connecticut was beginning to weigh Las Vegas down. And that's what happens. Their physicality just weighs them down on the defensive end. But every time Hamby would get a block or Raquana would hit a three, it would just be like, Chelsea would be like, okay, boom, let's go. Asia would find another gear.
It would just be depleted the energy. Like, damn, we got to go back and fight, live for another possession. Yep. And then Chelsea would just get another great pass to someone else. Yeah. So it was just, the fact that they keep grinding when everybody keeps counting them out is just.
Yeah.
I'm mad the sky is just not, skying the way they're supposed to do. But, but.
I think, and as as a coaches kind of have an unwritten code. Well, you don't talk too bad about other coaches. You don't speak bad about other coaches. I don't know James Wade personally, but I just want to let him know, Coach Wade, what you did to the sky
was wrong. I'm not a coach, and I would tell you is wrong.
If we were on the streets and I saw you, I ain't even got to be from Chicago. I would want to dust you off for the Chicagoans, man, because what you did to the sky was wrong. You gave away the pick. Man, you gave away the picks.
And you left.
Like, you brought in Mabry. And honestly, when they brought in Courtney Williams and they brought in Mabry and then they brought in Liz Wood, I was like, okay, this could work. They still have K-Cop. He still has Dana Evans. He still has Rebecca. He has pieces. If he
and I like that Elena Smith, is it?
Yeah. I like her. I'm like, I like her too. I'm like, this could work. When he up and left, I was like, wow. And they weren't bad. They were still grinding. They were still fighting. They were still up there.
He was winning his coaches' challenges. Yeah. Like, okay, he's invested.
Yeah. And then when he left, you could see the energy shift in those women. And I'm just like, to do that to you, I don't care if it was the organization that came to him. As a coach, I'm standing up and I'm saying, okay, you're saying this is the last year, but give me until the end of this year. I'm not leaving these women in the middle of these years.
Season.
Yes.
I'm not doing that. I got that. I'm going to hold. I mean, we don't know what happened. We really don't.
Yeah.
But it's like, I tell people all the time, I'm not going to start. If you guys felt that way, you shouldn't have me start the season.
Exactly.
Intermediate coach or do something until part ways in the beginning of the season. Not that.
Yeah.
Because it's just, what does that show the team?
I think the front office didn't understand it, but when They allowed him to walk away smack dab in the middle of that season with no plan, no guidance, no nothing after that. You were telling those women, we're giving up. We understand we're not the same team we were yesterday. Yeah, we retooled, but guess what? This year is not going to be our year. We're giving up. It's okay. He can leave. We don't care about the season. And the minute you send that message in the locker room, it doesn't matter what coach comes in there afterwards. They could have brought in freaking Pat Summitt out the grave. They could have brought in Gary Blair. They could have brought in Van Chancellor. They could have went to South Carolina and brought in Don Staley. No coach was going to be able to shift that team to mindset because of what that organization had done. So it just, man, I hate to see that happen to Chicago
anyone.
because to anyone really,
to any team,
yes,
especially when
team.
The league is fighting for expansion, when the league is fighting for just for people to continue to invest in us, and then it's like, well, their own one of their own cities they're not even investing in their own. But I'm glad, Dwayne Wade came and bought, as part, well, I don't know if he's
as part minority part owner.
That I felt like it took away some of the backlash that people were speaking about the W,
the W
that they already get, but it's just put action around words of people speaking about, I'll watch the W, tune into the W, but it just put action around words that NBA says. But we'll see. I hope it grows more. Speaking of that, how do you feel about the whole expansion talk? Do you feel like expansion more or roster more?
I feel like, my professional opinion as a coach, expansion, no, not now. I think the sport is continuing to grow. That it is. I'm gonna go on a little mini rant here, but I promise it's gonna come back around. To you idiots who say nobody watches the WNBA, I want you to go and check the numbers. Actually do your research and look at viewership in the past 3 years. Look at the way it's expanded. Look at the way it's grown. The current media marketing and TV deals that the WNBA has, when this new renegotiation comes around, it's going to be so much better because the numbers that they're going off now are old numbers. It does not reflect the way that the sport has grown.
And that's why I try to tell people, it's like you can't bargain with something that they're already in a contract with.
Exactly.
They're in a contract. They can't do anything.
They're in a current contract. They can't do anything else. So I'm like, the contract that they're currently in is based off old numbers. The minute they look at the new projections, see the new numbers, see the way the ticket sales are going, like, hey, a lot of things are going to change. I think roster expansion is where they need to start at. Right now, they're at 10 roster spots? As a coach, do you know how hard it is to pick 10 people you're going to run with? And what kills me are the hardship contracts and the 7-day contract. You're going to go and have a woman uproot her life if she's playing overseas or whatever for a 7-day contract. And then you'll waive her, send her back, and then you may call her back for another 7 days. That's crazy. I think they need to get up to at least 13 roster spots for each team. 13 roster spots for each team.
Absolutely.
Do that. Get up to 13 roster spots for each team. Do that. Okay, then you have, other affiliations, such as, hey, guess what? We got the Athletes Unlimited League. Each team should have an affiliation with another league. You see the Warriors, they have the Santa Cruz Warriors. You see the Lakers, it's kind of like a G League thing. Affiliate with these other programs, these other teams. And guess what? When you can have those teams, playing underneath your umbrella. So guess what? When you have injuries, it's nothing for you to call up a player from that squad and have a play. But the expansion of, I want a team here and I want a team back here, that's going to take a while. Yes, it's in the making, but it's going to take a while. Right now, they need to focus on roster expansion. It's way too many talented players to not have a job.
I agree with you.
Seeing Alexis Morris waived and cut, that weighed on my heart. Like, that just hit me because I'm like, the way she, clawed and stuck with it and fought. And I don't care what nobody say. LSU would not have won that championship without Alexis Morris. Yes, I get CC was the talk of the tournament, and rightfully so. CC's amazing. She's an amazing talent. But what Alexis Morris did to CC down the stretch, that's a bad little mama. Like, I don't think people
Her whole
understand
entire story.
her own stuff. Man, watching Alexis Morris
Crawl her.
CC up and claw the hand clapping, the way she fought. If I'm a GM or an owner of a WNBA team, I'm saying I want her. I want her, because that you can't teach. You can't teach. I'm a dog. You can't teach that.
You can't teach. I'm a dog. And just even at media day passed because she got drafted to Connecticut Sun. So I had media day. They said media was swarming.
Swarming. Yes. Yes.
That's what you ultimately want.
Yes, the exposure that she brought to. I'm just like, man, the marketing, the exposure. I'm like, come on. It was the same thing with Indiana. I got so irritated when Indiana waived Kenny, because I'm like, you have Aaliyah Boston now.
The chemistry.
I don't care. Aaliyah Boston is your franchise player. Indiana, if y'all see this podcast, which I hope y'all watch Sports to see, please watch it. Aaliyah Boston is your franchise player. Okay? I love Tiffany. I do. She's not your franchise player. Aaliyah Boston is your franchise player. You had Destiny Henderson, her college teammate for 4 years. She played with her. She know where she wants the ball. She know where she likes to be set up. She won a championship with her. You drafted Victoria Saxton,
who won a championship
with her. You have 3 of the key pieces from South Carolina. You had the perfect transition into your next wave, and you allowed your starting point guard to walk out of the door. For whatever it may be, we didn't have enough roster spots. That should not happen. That should not happen.
That should have not happened. That should have not happened.
It should not have happened. You should not have.
Even when she went to the Sparks, I was like,
Sparks. You
let her.
Y'all just let her leave. Destiny, and I get people saying, "Oh, well, she was only averaging 5 points per game." It doesn't matter. You weren't watching those games. Did you see the way they got up? You wasn't paying attention. The way they got up and down the floor, the way she hit on the assist, the energy level. Destiny Henderson should be on a team. Alexis Morris should be on a team. Like,
but if you had G leagues,
exactly
where they were,
and they were affiliated,
you want them to get the fundamentals that you want them to have, or the work that you want them to have,
man.
Then so if someone else gets hurt, they'll already be there. They'll already be getting the work that you want them to have. The style of play your system that you want them to have. So when it's time to bring them on up, they already have the system. They already know the style of play that you guys play in. And it would be an easy fit, because now it's like all these 7 days contracts. It's like, what does it do? Because they still have to learn your system.
Exactly.
They still need to get a contract in with this longer. They still need to get a practice in with this longer season travel. It doesn't work. How do they? It doesn't even give them an opportunity to even show you guys.
Exactly. It literally makes
work.
No sense. One of the thing that irritates and frustrates me the most as a coach, and most importantly as a fan, a true WNBA fan, like I love the WNBA, I love it, is when you have a player of Angel Reese's caliber. When Angel Reese come into the league, she's going to bring an entirely different audience with her. When you have players like Angel Reese, players like CC, and players like Claude Johnson saying,
Paige
Beckers, when when you got these phenomenal players that need to be in the league because they're going to help with marketing exposure, their game is on the level, and furthermore, they deserve to be there because they're the best of the best. When you have them saying, I'm cool at LSU, I'm cool at Stanford, I'm cool in Iowa. Like, come on, it's Iowa. All love to Iowa, but come on. She's saying I would rather stay here in Iowa than go to the WNBA because I'm making enough money in NIL. I'm cool where I'm at. That should not happen. That should not happen.
Because the dream is ultimately
the dream is ultimately to play in the WNBA.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the upper echelon. So when you have these players coming and saying, I'm cool with not going to the W right now, that should do something. I don't understand how that doesn't infuriate the president of the league. As fans, it infuriates us.
Me.
Because because we're ready to see them at that level.
And as another thing that gets me is like, as a fan, as a person that does, freelance media in the W, all the people that cover you is good. Not just the big people. And that's what drives me insane the most. Because even the small, the small reporters, the small journalists, the smaller companies, the smaller people, they cover the W too. And they might do a better job covering the W.
Exactly.
All storytellers, some are better than others. Some have a different style of doing things. Some are just connect better with people than who you have at the forefront doing it for you. You guys have to see that. Some marketing that you guys do sucks. So you guys have to accept all the people that want to put your business out there, put the W out there.
Yeah, most definitely.
There's so much more that can happen for the W. I just feel like do they want to accept it?
Yeah.
So. But before we go, I need your top 4. The GOAT conversation, the top 4.
GOAT conversation?
Yes, for the W.
For the W?
Yes.
Man. Okay, I'm gonna try to leave biases out of it. And I'm gonna try to go point guard, shooting guard, small forward, and a 5. Okay.
You're better than me. I don't ever leave bias out of anything.
Okay. I'm gonna say point guard if I have to go point guard. Oh man. Like I told you, my personal favorites growing up, my personal point guard favorites growing up were Ruthie Bolton, Kim Perot, and Tamika Johnson. I love them. But it's gonna be hard. If I gotta say GOAT, PG, I'll go with another one of my all-time favorites. I have to say Don Staley.
Okay.
For my 2, it's so tough. It's so tough. So tough. For my 2, I'm gonna have to say, oh man, this is so tough. Dang, you put me on the spot. I think I'm gonna have to go. DT. I have to go Diana Taurasi. It's hard. It's hard not to. 10,000 points. I don't care who you are. 10,000 points that's tough. Plus, I guess I remember DT in those days with Cappy Pondexter, in those DT in her prime days. You couldn't stop that DT. It didn't matter what defense you played, what age. It didn't matter what angle you were at. If Diana Taurasi wanted to get the ball in the basket,
it was
going
to
get in the basket. Like you just couldn't do anything with it. Man, in DT's prime days, it came down to we have DT and you don't. It was just that simple. So yeah, I gotta go say DT at the 2. The 3. Oh man, my 3. Can I get 5? And
you can get 5.
Okay, I can get 5. Okay, and my 3. Ooh, it's so tough. My 3, and I know it was short. It didn't have any longevity to it. But Maya Moore was the greatest.
She's in
Maya Moore was the greatest.
Crazy? She is great.
I had ever it just I'm so blessed that we got to see her for the small amount of time that we did. But
I know I miss her, and then she retired. I was like, "What?"
Now she retired. But the other part of me, and it's crazy because as a fan, as like a diehard Maya Moore fan, I was still holding on to that little 0.2%
hope that she was gonna come back, right? Maybe one year come back, give us a little something, and dip back out, and then it could be done.
After she have her baby, maybe she'll get herself back right and come back and give us a year.
Just 1 year. That was all I was hoping.
I was so ready to write Jonathan myself and be like, Jonathan, we're not gonna keep your wife. I promise we're gonna give her back.
1 year. We're gonna give
just 1 year, please.
We just need for 1 year to show these people what basketball is.
I'm telling you, Maya Moore Maya takes the cake. So I gotta say Maya at 3. Four. Oh man, so tough, so freaking tough. But I couldn't make a top five and not put Cheryl Miller. I I couldn't. I know she didn't play in the W.
Yeah, but
so
if
it's like
if you don't,
if you don't include Cheryl Miller in, like, I mean,
even though she
come on,
wasn't in
man.
it, but she was in it. So
Yeah, even though she wasn't in it, she was in it. Like, there would be no WNBA without Cheryl Miller. Cheryl Miller was whipping Reggie before that Reggie was Reggie. She was dropping dimes on NBA players. So I mean, come on, you gotta include Cheryl.
seriously,
You have to. And I say at the four, man, and then I say Cheryl. And my five, to go for a center, I can't not do Lisa Leslie. Lisa Leslie revolutionized, like, man, Lisa Leslie brought a whole other game. I think I was just watching for the first time the other day. I saw Uncle Drew. I don't know why I hadn't seen Uncle Drew, but I saw Uncle Drew for the first time. And Lisa was playing Betty Lou, who was Preacher's wife. And she was still, you could see in the shots, her footwork was still crazy. So it's just like, I can't imagine seeing Lisa in her prime.
I wish I was just able to like actually see it, not
see it
just
and
watch
be
it.
there, not just
right.
watch
it on like old, like, you know, I'm just like.
I remember the day that Michael Cooper and the Sparks announced they were drafting Candace Parker. I literally looked at the TV and I looked at my grandfather and I said, he has Candace Parker and Lisa Leslie. If he does not win the WNBA championship, he should never be allowed to coach again. Because it was just like Candace was Candace in her prime. Lisa was still in her prime, but towards the end of it, I'm just like, it's unstoppable. That pick and roll is nothing you can do
when
with
Candace, well, just thinking about that in her prime.
And it's so hard not to include Candace, because Candace is another one of my all-time favorites. I think when we argue GOAT conversation period, it's hard not to put Candace up there. I told everybody, if Candace had won the championship her last year with the Sky, I told everybody, if she wins this championship, it's going to be hard not to put her in the greatest of all time conversation. She's already in it. She's already in it. Man.
Just when she just went back home and won, it was just like, oh my God.
It's like, literally, and it's crazy because nobody was really concerned about the Sky if you weren't like a real W fan. Just her announcing, I'm going back to Chicago. They had people that hadn't came to a WNBA game since '97, the inaugural season. They were showing up like, oh my God, I want Candace's jersey. Oh my God. It's just like, it's crazy. It's gonna be a sad day when CP3 hangs up those sneakers. It's gonna be a sad day. But
and DT.
And DT, man, it's gonna be an emotional roller coaster. Like I tell people, you don't understand what it's like to get to witness greatness until greatness leaves. People never understood, and that's why I tell people all the time, I don't care about the Jordan LeBron debate. Just shut up and just take in the fact that you get to witness LeBron. 20 years, you're
gone.
You're never gonna see it again. Exactly.
You're not gonna see it.
The minute this man is gone, you're never gonna see that again. You never understood what Kobe meant to the game until Kobe left.
Not even until he.
Not even until he passed away. Not even when he was here. When he passed away, yes, like I told people, I was distraught when he passed away. He was one of my favorite players growing up. But when he retired, it was so hard to watch the Lakers. It's just like I told people, it was just so different.
It was very different watching the Lakers. I was never a Kobe fan, but I'm a basketball fan. So when he retired, you're like, what? Like there's no Mamba mentality no more.
No Mamba mentality no more.
What? Like Kobe's not playing, and then when he passed, it's like you cried because it's like,
yes,
like what? Like are you serious?
Just,
like
you couldn't
no way.
Like are you kidding me? Couldn't
like
fathom it.
And everyone's like, you don't even like him. I said, but I love basketball.
There's a difference. What he meant to the game of basketball.
That's where they're like, yeah, that's right. I said, so you have to understand when you love the game and what it does for me mentally. It's different. I said, because I could be having the worst day and I put on anything that basketball, talk about
Basketball
basketball, I'm
related.
good. I'm good.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm fine. No problem exists
I'm
in that
telling you.
moment. So
Yes.
they better start appreciating greatness,
Man, it's
because
just like I'm telling people, the minute LeBron leaves the sport, like I tell people, the NBA, it's gonna be a sad day. It's gonna be like I told him, I said, I don't care who you
I'm a cry.
favor.
I
don't care if you I said, I don't care if you favor Michael over LeBron or if you favor Kobe over LeBron. It doesn't matter. Like I told people, when LeBron leaves, that's literally gonna be the end of an era. Literally. I'm like, I don't think people understand this man has dominated the league
decades, right?
for 2 decades. Like I tell people, do you not understand how hard it was how hard it is to dominate at any level for a year? For a year, it's hard. Like I tell people, that's why you don't see too many teams win back to back. It's hard. It's hard to win one, let alone to go back to back. LeBron has dominated the NBA for 2 decades, for over 2 decades. Like I tell people, I believe LeBron has we have about, I say 3 more years to really witness him be him. If that.
Because the news with his son, who knows, it might change now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. We knew for sure that we had up until Bronny came. We knew for sure we had up until Bronny came, the year Bronny played. And then maybe with Bryce being on the come up, we maybe would have got to still witness it with Bryce. Now that all this has happened with Bronny, that may shift, that may change. He may, like, okay, you know what, it's time to hang it up. It was already talks. People were saying, oh, he's not going to retire. He just wants to take, the attention off of the fact that he didn't play well in the final. The man was still averaging 20, 8, and 7.
And he shouldn't even then. That should have been AD.
Exactly. And that should have been AD averaging that. So I'm sitting up here like, what? Come on. Whatever. Watch. Skip Bayless. I used to love Shannon and like Skip and Shannon. But Skip, come on now. You watched up, you ain't never played.
He is
like, come on, Skip.
Like, at the end of the day, my thing is like, if you're gonna get up there and talk, be for real, for real.
Like, come on, man.
For real.
Be for real. Like, come on. The man is great. The man's an all-time great. But when he leaves the sport, that's gonna be a sad day. Like, I will cry that day. I'm not gonna even lie.
Oh,
like
I am.
People,
I'm
gonna cry. That's literally it's gonna be the end of an era. Like, it's literally gonna be the end of an era.
Who am I gonna go watch now? Who am I gonna go see? Because I'm definitely not. And once Jaylen Brown, if you leave the Celtics, I'll go see you. I'm not a Boston Celtics
fan. So wait a minute, you're not a Celtics fan?
No.
Okay, so we gotta end this call. It was lovely, but I'm a Celtics fan. I can't do it.
Sorry, Paul Pierce done ruined it for me.
No, but my grandfather's a diehard Celtics fan, so I grew up knowing the greatness of Bill Russell, knowing the greatness of Kevin McHale, knowing the greatness of Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson, all those guys.
Those are great,
So yeah, so it was impossible for me not to
ruined it. I will never take away what they said. And then I met Paul Pierce, and then he ruined.
Oh man,
he ruined it.
Yeah.
Especially me being a little kid at basketball camp, trying to become a basketball player.
Basketball player.
Ruined it for me. And then I just, and it's just like, no, I'm not a Celtics fan. And then I wish they would separate Jason and Jaylen, because it's just not working.
We can't get on that. We'll have to talk about that off the air, because I'm going to an entirely different rant about the Celtics. Okay. Don't get me on the Celtics and the Wings. That's going to be an entirely different rant.
We're going to have to get you on the live show on Monday.
Yes.
Because,
my blood pressure's going to go from here
NBA
to here. If we get to talking about the Celtics, I am going to blow a fuse. So let's just not even go there. I'm so distraught over it. But
well, at least we agree.
But yeah, that's a man. But sheesh. But this is just so much fun. This has been a ton of fun. My mom, my fiance, and my sister, they laugh all the time. Just need somebody you can talk sports with, because they don't follow it, they don't like it, they don't. With like my fiance can't even tell you when they even scored a touchdown, really, like unless she hear the band playing the alma mater. So she won't know. So man, just being able to sit and like talk sports, and especially to talk sports with people who know sport. I can't talk sports with idiots. I can't.
I hate it.
I can't discuss the WNBA with idiots because you're gonna talk nonsense and stupidity, and it's gonna irritate me and frustrate me. I can't discuss NBA with idiots. It's just like no. If you don't know basketball at a level, you don't have to have coach knowledge, but just to understand it, to know it, to follow it. I'm like being able to talk and discuss it. It's a different level. It's a different love. And like I said, I'm a total junkie. Like I could go for hours talking sports. Like, hey, it doesn't matter where you want to go. You want to go back to the 1960s, the 70s. You want to discuss Dr. J. You want to discuss Kareem Magic. We can do it all.
You have to come on the live show because one of the bros, he goes back to like 70s, and I'm 70s. Like, hold on, I gotta research this. I don't know that far. Like, hold on, I gotta get my skills up to date. Hold up. Let me write these names. And then even when they do that, I'm so in love with that. I write it down, go see who these are, try to catch some film, just to know my knowledge. There's always something you can learn. So I definitely gotta get you back on and have you come on the live show on Monday because yeah, definitely got to schedule that up because we come back September 11th, so we're live on Mondays. Okay. Work out a schedule to get you come back on because we do everything. But we'll send you the topics before because we do everything hot topics. Especially with new season coming back on the trades that happen. So absolutely, but it was a pleasure.
Yes,
love that. So much fun. Thank you for coming on Let's Talk Sports and Entertainment with Steve.
All right, thank you.